Have you ever looked at someone in their 80s who walks confidently, climbs stairs without holding the rail, remembers every grandchild's birthday, and seems to have more energy than people 20 years younger? Then you've probably asked yourself one question. What's their secret? Here's something that might surprise you. It isn't expensive supplements. It isn't a miracle drug. It isn't perfect genetics. In fact, one simple test reveals more about how well you're aging than almost anything else. And the shocking truth is that nearly 99% of people over the age of 80 struggle to do it. But if you still can, or if you're willing to train yourself to regain this ability, you may be slowing down the aging process in ways science continues to uncover. Today I'm going to show you the 7 signs that your body is aging in reverse and explain why these simple abilities matter far more than the number on your birth certificate. Because aging isn't measured by your years, it's measured by your function, and what you're about to hear could completely change how you think about growing older. Think about the last time you stood up from a chair. Chances are you didn't give it a second thought. You simply leaned forward, pushed through your legs, and rose to your feet. It's one of those movements we perform dozens of times every day without realizing how remarkable it actually is. But here's something most people never hear. The ability to stand up without using your hands is one of the clearest windows into how well your body is aging. It may seem too simple to matter, but beneath that effortless movement is an incredible combination of strength, balance, coordination, flexibility, and confidence. When one of those pieces begins to weaken, the entire movement changes. Take a moment to imagine 2 people who are both 80 years old. The first person rises smoothly from a chair, walks across the room with steady steps, and continues with their day without hesitation. The second person rocks back and forth several times before grabbing the armrests for support. They push hard with their arms, struggle to stand upright, and pause to regain their balance before taking a step. They may be exactly the same age, but their bodies are telling 2 very different stories. This isn't about judging anyone. It's about understanding what your body is trying to communicate. Every time you stand up, your muscles send signals to your brain, your joints absorb force, your core stabilizes your spine, and your balance system keeps you upright. Hundreds of tiny actions happen in just a few seconds. When they all work together, your body is demonstrating resilience. It is showing that it still has the strength to support you through everyday life. Many people believe that needing their hands to stand up is simply a normal part of getting older. They shrug and say, "Well, that's just age." But age alone isn't always the reason. More often, it's the gradual loss of muscle caused by years of inactivity. The human body follows a simple rule. What you use, you keep. What you neglect, you lose. If your legs aren't challenged regularly, they slowly become weaker. That weakness doesn't happen overnight. It develops quietly, month after month, year after year, until one day standing from a chair feels much harder than it used to. The encouraging news is that muscles are remarkably adaptable. Even later in life, they retain an incredible ability to grow stronger. Your body is constantly responding to the demands you place on it. If you ask very little of your muscles, they'll give you very little in return. But if you consistently encourage them to work, they'll often surprise you with how much they can improve. Strong legs are about much more than walking. They help stabilize your knees, protect your hips, support your lower back, and improve your posture. They also play a major role in maintaining healthy circulation. Every step you take activates the large muscles in your legs, helping pump blood back toward your heart. That's why movement is often described as medicine. It's not just burning calories. It's supporting nearly every major system in your body. There's another benefit that's easy to overlook: confidence. When people begin to feel physically weak, they often become more cautious. They avoid stairs. They stop going on longer walks. They decline invitations that involve too much standing. They begin arranging their lives around what they can no longer do. Unfortunately, that creates a dangerous cycle. Less activity leads to weaker muscles. Weaker muscles lead to even less activity. Over time, independence slowly slips away. But that cycle can also work in reverse. Every time you challenge your legs safely, you interrupt that downward spiral. Standing up from a chair several times in a row, taking a short walk after breakfast, choosing the stairs instead of the elevator when it's appropriate, parking a little farther from the store entrance. These may sound like tiny decisions, but your body notices every one of them. Think of your muscles as loyal employees. If you keep giving them meaningful work, they'll continue showing up. If you stop asking anything of them, they'll assume they're no longer needed. Your body is incredibly efficient. It won't waste energy maintaining strength you never use. That's why staying active matters so much as the years pass. You may also notice that standing up without using your hands requires more than strong legs. It requires your core muscles to engage, your hips to remain flexible, and your brain to coordinate everything in perfect timing. That's what makes this movement such a valuable indicator of overall health. It's not testing one body part, it's testing how well your entire body functions as a team. If you find this movement difficult today, don't let it discourage you. Instead, let it motivate you. Every healthy improvement begins with recognizing where you are right now. Progress isn't measured by comparing yourself to someone else. It's measured by becoming slightly stronger than you were yesterday. Maybe today you need both hands. In a few weeks, perhaps you'll need only one. Eventually, you may find yourself standing without assistance at all. Those small victories add up in ways you can't imagine. One of the greatest misconceptions about aging is that decline happens automatically. While certain changes are inevitable, many of the losses people experience are accelerated by inactivity rather than age itself. The body responds to movement at 70 just as it does at 40, it adapts. It may adapt more slowly, but it still adapts. That's a message of hope that everyone deserves to hear. I've seen people who believed they were simply too old rediscover abilities they thought were gone forever. Not because they found a miracle cure, but because they committed to consistent, gentle movement. They respected their limits without surrendering to them. Day after day, they gave their bodies a reason to become stronger. Little by little, simple tasks became easier. Rising from a chair no longer felt like a struggle. Walking became smoother. Confidence returned. And with that confidence came something even more valuable: the freedom to enjoy life without constantly worrying about what their body might not let them do. So the next time you stand up from a chair, don't rush past the moment. Appreciate what your body is accomplishing, and if it feels challenging, remember that today's difficulty does not have to become tomorrow's destiny. Your strongest years may still be built one simple movement at a time. Now, let's explore something that many people don't think about until it's suddenly gone: balance. It seems so ordinary that we rarely notice it. You stand in the kitchen while preparing a meal, step over a curb, reach for something on a high shelf, or turn around when someone calls your name. Each of these everyday actions depends on your ability to stay steady without even thinking about it. But balance is far more than simply not falling. It is one of the clearest reflections of how well your entire body and brain are working together. Here's a simple challenge. If it's safe to do so, stand near a sturdy countertop or chair that you can hold if needed. Lift one foot just a few inches off the floor and see how long you can comfortably maintain your balance. You don't need to force yourself or take unnecessary risks. The goal isn't to set a record, it's to notice how your body responds. If you can remain steady for around 10 seconds, that's a positive sign. It tells you that several important systems are still communicating effectively. Think about what has to happen in those few seconds. Your eyes constantly scan the environment. Your inner ear detects tiny changes in your head position. Nerves in your feet sense pressure against the floor. Muscles in your ankles, legs, hips, and core make hundreds of tiny adjustments that are almost invisible. At the same time, your brain receives all of this information, processes it instantly, and sends new instructions back to your muscles. All of that happens without you consciously thinking about it. It's an incredible partnership. The problem is that this partnership becomes weaker when we stop challenging it. Many people assume balance fades only because they're getting older. While aging can affect balance, inactivity often plays an even bigger role. As people move less, they give their balance system fewer opportunities to practice. They begin avoiding uneven sidewalks. They hesitate to walk across grass. They stop taking longer walks in the park. They become more cautious climbing stairs. Eventually, they move less not because they can't, but because they're afraid. Fear is understandable, especially after seeing a friend or family member experience a serious fall. But fear can quietly create the very outcome we're trying to avoid. The less you move, the less your body practices staying stable. Muscles become weaker, reflexes become slower, confidence begins to disappear. Then ordinary situations start feeling dangerous. This is why balance is not just a physical skill, it's also deeply connected to confidence. When people trust their bodies, they move naturally. They reach, bend, turn, and walk without hesitation. But when confidence fades, every movement becomes cautious. That hesitation often makes movement less smooth and less efficient. Ironically, becoming overly stiff can sometimes increase the chance of losing balance instead of preventing it. One of the greatest gifts you can give your future self is maintaining confidence in your ability to move safely. Fortunately, balance is something that can improve. Your nervous system is incredibly adaptable. Even later in life, it continues learning. Every time you safely challenge your balance, you're teaching your brain to communicate more effectively with the rest of your body. Those tiny stabilizing muscles around your ankles and hips become more responsive. Your reactions become quicker. Your posture improves. Over time, movements that once felt uncertain begin to feel natural again. The important word here is safely. Improving balance doesn't require risky exercises or standing on unstable equipment. In fact, some of the most effective improvements come from very simple habits practiced consistently. Standing on one foot while holding onto a kitchen counter, walking heel to toe down a hallway, rising from a chair without rushing, turning slowly and with control. Even practicing good posture throughout the day teaches your body to stay aligned. Small efforts repeated regularly create remarkable changes. Balance also depends heavily on leg strength, which brings us back to something we discussed earlier. Strong muscles provide a solid foundation. Weak muscles force your body to compensate. Imagine trying to balance on a sturdy oak tree versus balancing on a thin branch swaying in the wind. Your muscles are your foundation. The stronger they become, the easier it is for your balance system to do its job. Your feet deserve attention too. They are your body's connection to the ground, yet many people ignore them until pain develops. Healthy feet provide important information to your brain with every step you take. Comfortable, supportive footwear, maintaining flexibility in your ankles, and simply walking regularly all help keep those communication pathways active. There's another factor that often surprises people. Your vision. Your eyes play a tremendous role in helping you stay upright. They constantly help your brain understand where you are in space. That's why poor lighting, cluttered rooms, or sudden changes in surface height can become more challenging with age. Creating a safer environment at home isn't a sign of weakness. It's a smart way to support the systems that keep you independent. And let's not forget your posture. When your shoulders round forward and your head drifts out in front of your body, your center of gravity changes. That subtle shift can make balance more difficult than it needs to be. Standing tall isn't just about appearance. It's about giving your body the best mechanical advantage possible. Lift your chest, relax your shoulders, and imagine a string gently pulling the top of your head toward the ceiling. Those simple adjustments can make standing and walking feel noticeably steadier. Perhaps the most encouraging truth is this: your brain never completely loses its ability to adapt. Scientists refer to this as neuroplasticity, the brain's remarkable capacity to reorganize itself through experience and practice. Every time you challenge your balance, even in small ways, you're strengthening those neural pathways. You're reminding your brain that these skills are still important. You're telling your body, don't let this ability fade. That's an incredibly powerful message. Too many people believe that balance loss is inevitable. They assume falling is simply part of growing older. But while no one can eliminate every risk, many falls are preventable. Building stronger muscles, practicing balance regularly, staying physically active, and maintaining confidence all work together to reduce that risk. Remember, independence isn't preserved through luck. It's preserved through preparation. Every steady step you take today is an investment in tomorrow. Every moment you spend strengthening your balance is another message to your body that you're not ready to surrender your mobility. You're choosing capability over fear. You're choosing movement over hesitation. And most importantly, you're choosing to stay engaged in the life you love. Because every second you remain steady is another reminder that your body is still capable of extraordinary things. Now let's talk about something so ordinary that most people never think twice about it until it starts becoming difficult. The way you walk. Walking is one of the most natural movements the human body performs. We do it to get the mail, shop for groceries, visit friends, play with grandchildren, or simply enjoy a beautiful morning outside. Yet every step you take reveals an incredible amount about your overall health. In fact, one of the strongest indicators of healthy aging isn't found in a blood test or an expensive scan. It's found in your walking speed, your posture, and the confidence with which you move through the world. Watch two people of the same age walking down a sidewalk. One moves with purpose, taking smooth, steady strides. Their arms swing naturally, their head stays upright, and they look comfortable and relaxed. The other takes very short steps, barely lifting their feet from the ground. Their shoulders are rounded forward, their eyes stay fixed on the pavement, and every movement appears cautious. Both may be 80 years old, yet their bodies are telling completely different stories. This isn't about appearance, it's about function. A confident walk usually reflects something much deeper. It often means the muscles are working together efficiently, the joints still have good mobility, the heart is supplying oxygen effectively, the lungs are doing their job, and the brain is coordinating every movement with remarkable precision. Walking is actually one of the most complex activities your body performs. It may feel automatic, but behind every step is a carefully coordinated performance involving your muscles, bones, joints, nerves, eyes, inner ear, heart, lungs, and brain. Every time your foot touches the ground, your body instantly adjusts to keep you balanced. Your core stabilizes your spine, your hips shift your weight smoothly, your knees absorb impact. Your ankles make tiny corrections that you never consciously notice. Your arms swing to counterbalance your movement. At the same time, your brain is constantly monitoring your surroundings, calculating distance, avoiding obstacles, and making thousands of tiny adjustments every minute. It's a masterpiece of human design. That's why changes in the way someone walks often become noticeable before other signs of declining health appear. A person who begins shuffling their feet may not realize they're doing it. They simply feel slightly less stable, so their body shortens each step as a way to feel safer. Over time, those shorter steps become a habit. Unfortunately, shuffling creates its own problems. When the feet barely leave the ground, they're much more likely to catch on rugs, uneven sidewalks, or small obstacles that previously wouldn't have mattered. Something as simple as a raised edge on a carpet can suddenly become a serious hazard. Many older adults don't intentionally slow down. Their bodies simply begin conserving energy because muscles have weakened, joints have stiffened, or confidence has faded. What starts as a subtle adjustment gradually becomes their normal way of moving. The tragedy is that many people accept this change as unavoidable, but it doesn't have to be. Walking is one of the few forms of exercise that benefits nearly every system in the body at the same time. It strengthens the heart by improving circulation. It helps regulate blood sugar by encouraging muscles to use glucose more efficiently. It supports healthy blood pressure. It keeps joints lubricated through gentle movement. It strengthens bones by placing healthy stress on them. It improves mood by stimulating the release of natural chemicals that reduce stress and promote feelings of well-being. It even supports brain health by increasing blood flow and oxygen delivery to the very organ responsible for coordinating every step. In many ways, walking is a full-body conversation. Your heart becomes stronger because your legs ask for more oxygen. Your lungs respond by breathing more deeply. Your muscles adapt by becoming more efficient. Your brain responds by strengthening the pathways involved in coordination and balance. Every system communicates with the others. That's why even a modest daily walk can have effects that reach far beyond your legs. There's another remarkable benefit that often goes unnoticed. Walking encourages independence. Think about everything walking allows you to do. It lets you visit neighbors, attend family gatherings, shop without assistance, enjoy parks, travel, and participate in the activities that bring meaning to life. When walking becomes difficult, people often begin withdrawing from the world. They stay home more frequently. They become less socially active. They avoid events because they worry about keeping up with others. Gradually, isolation begins replacing connection. Movement isn't just preserving your body, it's preserving your life. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that walking only counts if it's fast or intense. That simply isn't true. Every purposeful step matters. A slow walk around your neighborhood is better than sitting all afternoon. Walking through your garden, strolling through a shopping center, or taking a few laps around your living room during television commercials all contribute to maintaining mobility. Consistency matters far more than perfection. Your body responds to regular movement much more effectively than occasional bursts of intense activity. Walking for 20 or 30 minutes most days of the week often produces greater long-term benefits than exercising vigorously once every couple of weeks. Posture also plays a tremendous role in how efficiently you walk. Many people gradually begin looking down at the ground instead of ahead. Their shoulders round forward and their steps become shorter. While this often feels safer, it can actually make walking more difficult. Standing tall with your eyes looking forward helps your body maintain better alignment. Your lungs have more room to expand, your stride naturally lengthens, your balance often improves because your center of gravity is better positioned. Even something as simple as allowing your arms to swing naturally can improve walking efficiency. Those gentle arm movements help balance your body and reduce unnecessary strain. It's another reminder that walking is truly a whole-body activity. If walking has become challenging for you, don't let discouragement convince you to stop. The answer to losing mobility is rarely less movement. In most cases, it's carefully increasing movement within your abilities. Start where you are. Walk to the end of the driveway. Walk around your home several times. Add another minute every few days if your body allows. Celebrate every improvement, no matter how small it seems. Remember, progress isn't measured in miles. It's measured in consistency. The human body has an extraordinary ability to adapt when given the opportunity. Even later in life, muscles become stronger, endurance improves, and confidence returns when movement becomes part of your daily routine. You don't have to walk like you did at 20 years old. You simply need to keep reminding your body that movement is still an important part of your life. Every confident step you take sends a powerful message to every system inside your body. It says, I'm still using this. Keep it strong, keep it ready, keep it alive. And that simple daily choice may become one of the greatest investments you ever make in your future. Because the path to healthy aging is often built one steady step at a time,